Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Monday, July 10th, 2023. It is the start of another week or new week of camp for my youngest daughter. I dropped her off this morning. It's a longer camp. This is the longest camp she's had. It's not a sleepover camp. The other camps that she's done, it's in like 9 to noon or like a kind of a weird pickup time. This one goes like all day, like 9 to 4. I could leave her there till 6 if I wanted to, but I just feel like that's a long day for a kid in the summertime. But I dropped her off and she was a trooper for me in a social situation at that age, rolling up to a situation where there's that many kids, that many adults, and that many people I just didn't know. I would have been terrified. You would have had to drag me out of the car. She like couldn't wait. She was ready to go. She's like, I got my swimming suit. I'll see you later, Dad. So I was like, okay, bye. No, I resisted the urge to like roll down the window as I drove off because it's one of those like car drop off situations. I resisted the urge to like roll down the window and be like, I love you. Be nice to the new kids. You know, like I resisted. I resisted. I really wanted to today. Oh boy, that was hard to not do, but I did it. And I think she's having a good time. But you know, that's the only reason why I remember it's a Monday today, because it's the start of a new week. Otherwise, like I'm just all sorts of, this is like the third year in a row now where I've just lost track of days, but it's Monday, I'm pretty sure. And we're here. So welcome to everyone listening on the audio only version on the podcast. Hopefully you're having a good run. Weather's really nice for running right now. If you get out there, you don't have to get out super early in the Midwest to have a good day of running. Humidity's at slightly on the lower side, but normal-ish levels. Temperature seems to be on the low side, so it's been good. I had a good run out there today. Hopefully you guys are having good runs too. And for everyone watching this on YouTube later but not live, welcome to the number one running podcast to listen to. I got two that I'll give you today, but I'll just give you one. This is the number one running podcast to listen to while you're waiting to pick up your kids from gymnastics class. Someone else told me that's how they were watching today, so that's why today we're the number one at that. So like if you're there and you got that bank of windows ahead of you and you're watching your kids tumbling and somersaults and maybe back handspring, stuff like that, you could just put this phone, down a little bit below the window. Maybe you got it in your earbuds. You can watch and just listen at the same time. And so I feel like you're still paying attention to your kids, but, also then you don't maybe have to talk to the other parents that are there if you don't want to. Not to say that you shouldn't, but it's an option. And this is a good place for that to be here. All right. Let's see who we got here in the chat. Liquor says, should I buy the Boston 12? I don't know. I haven't tested it yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to test it at this point. This is a box that I have from Adidas today. And I was thinking that they would have sent me the Boston 12 to test out before the race, but they didn't. So I went with the Takumi Sen, which was a really fun shoe to run in. From what I've seen, other people reviews of the shoe, it seems to be much better than the 10 and 11 have been. I did not like 10. I disliked 10 was okay. It was misunderstood. It was confusing. I don't feel like it should have been a call to Boston. It should have been something else. But I didn't like it as a Boston. I disliked it as a Boston so much that I didn't review number 11. And 12, I was kind of leaning the same way, but everyone's like, it's so good. It's so much different. And I'm like, maybe. So we'll see. I don't know. Wow, Yummy says, handpick waving. I don't know what that means, but I'll just say hi. And Frank says, it's 13 weeks to Chicago, 16 to Marine Corps, and 17 to New York City. Also 11 to Berlin. Yeah. And here's another one. Andrew Scott says 15 weeks to Monumental. Yeah, my wife and I have been sitting down to go over the calendar. I'm pretty much gone. I'm not going to be here at the house from now until pretty much maybe next May. But then even then, I'm going to be gone. I'm just going to be gone a lot. I have a lot of travel coming up, and it's crazy. I mean, some of it's still up in the air. That weekend, there's a lot of things going on. I'm not sure what to do, guys, because like that October 29th weekend is both Indianapolis and Marine Corps the same weekend, if I'm not mistaken. And it's also, someone has brought to my attention, my friend Ryan Van Duzer brought to my attention, that it's also the same weekend as Javelina 100 or Javelina 100. I don't know how to say it. That race that's in Phoenix, the Aura Viper running race. And the only reason I know about that is because over the weekend, I realized that I was almost at 150 subscribers. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And then I suddenly remembered that I once talked about how I would do a 100K at 100,000 subscribers, which I never did, because ultimately the plan was to do Black Canyon, and that never ended up happening. And then I also said I would do a 100-miler at 160, 2,000 subscribers or so. And we're like 3 or 4 months away from that now. And so now I'm thinking like, oh boy, what's 3 or 4 months from now? And that's could be Javelina 100 time. So I'm not really sure what to do for that weekend. Plus, I also pitched to a brand a trip idea that I think would be super fun that would require me to be abroad that same week. So I just don't know. I mean, that's a crazy week. I don't know what to do with that one, that last week of October. So I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Frank says it's definitely Javelina 100. I like Javelina 100 better. It's just funnier. Ryan Flake says, are you running the Baltimore Marathon? I do not have current plans to run the Baltimore Marathon. That is a hard marathon. That's a very tough race. I have trauma from that race. That was my first marathon. Akli says, do the Manila Marathon next year. Who was I talking to? Oh, I was talking with Drew. I was like, Drew, we got to figure out like a little Southeast Asia tour. Because I think that, I know, and Drew was telling me that Weartesters is huge in Southeast Asia. I feel like I have a lot of fans over there too that I'm just not connecting with well enough, and I'd like to go to Southeast Asia. I just don't know how to put that trip together. And you know who's good at putting things together? Drew. So I'm pretty much I can't afford to steal him away from Weartesters. I mean, he's a co-founder, so but if I could have someone like Drew to plan my itineraries for me, and also contact all the brands and do all that legwork for me, that would be great. All right. Oh, Adam says he got confused. He emailed this morning that confused him. He got an email this morning about the Monument Marathon in September 30th, but it's in Nebraska. See, that's why I feel like it's very strange to me that the Monumental Marathon is not called the Indy Monumental Marathon. I think that's a marketing problem. I don't know. I'm not going to rant about it. I did just have a nice lunch. Pasta with some roast cauliflower, tomato sauce, a lot of cheddar cheese. I'm not going to call that Italian food. It was pasta and carbs and a little bit of veggies. So I'm not going to rant about it, but Monumental Marathon is a name that annoys me. Maybe we'll save that for another day. Maybe for end of day Friday. we'll save that. John Nichols says best non-majors marathons to run. That would be my U.S. majors marathon list. Although you probably couldn't call it majors. Although there's what is golf called theirs? They call theirs the majors, right? I don't know. I think you call. Well, here's my U.S. majors. It would be if we're gonna go with 6, like the U.S. the World Marathon majors. I think Monumental would be on there. I think you put L.A. on there. That's a tough course, but I feel like LA's such a big market. It needs one down there. Grandma's, CIM, also California, but it's NorCal. It's a different country, basically. What did I say so far? There's 2 others that I know. Houston is another one that I really like to put in there because it's flat and fast, and it's in the south. And then I forget what other one. There's usually a 6th or 7th that I put in there sometimes. So those are some really good ones. Flying Pig is typically very highly recommended, although I suspect that one's very hilly. I've never done that one. Detroit is also really good, although you got to run in the tunnel to get into Canada and stuff, so I'm a little bit nervous about that. I've never done that one. But there are many, very, very many good non-major marathons to run in the U.S. All right, let me scroll down to the bottom to catch up with you guys in the chat. Yeah, Jeremy Carriel says, you could just call it the Kofuzi Open presented by ASICS. Wouldn't that be weird? I think if we did that, it'd have to be a series of 10Ks. Or if it were marathons, it would be all Ekiden style. You could run it by yourself, or you could bring a team of 6, and you run it that way. I feel like that would be fun. That takes so much coordination, though. That's just making it very complex. But that'll be fun. Oh yeah, Cosmic Pineapple Mega says Philly should be there. I don't remember if I put Philly in the list or not. I've never run Philly. So many people do because not everyone could get into New York. So, yeah. Let's see who we got. Do we have any? It's Monday, right? Do we have any PBs? Finny Finn says ran his 10K time trial on the track for a 35:49 PB. Nice. Nope, not that sound. Sorry, wrong button. It's Monday. This is a sound for the PB. Nice job, Finny Finn. Takumi Sen8 felt fantastic. You know, I would like to run more 10Ks. That's why I feel like training for a 100-miler doesn't feel right now. Because I want to run some fast 5Ks and 10Ks. I saw everyone's footage from the London 10K this year, which I did talk to ASICS about. I was like, you know what? We should do... This was at beer time, though. So, like, I feel like, you know, no one takes anyone seriously at beer time. I get so many ideas pitched to me during beer time, and I'm like, great. And then I come home and tell my wife, I'm like, oh, we had all these conversations. I'm going to go to this country and this country and this country. And she's like, when did you talk about that? I'm like, yeah, after happy hour. And she's like, you got to wait for that follow-up email. And she's right. But I did pitch an idea at beer time, but I was like, let's do a London tour leading up to the London 10K. I don't know if the London, I think the London 10K is a big event, but I don't know if it would warrant a tour, but that'd be fun. I'd love to do the London 10K. Looked like a good time. Everyone was there. Aubrey was there. Ben is running 40. Bester running was there. Just a little Besta. I always forget his first name because I always just remember Just a Little Besta. But it looked like a fun one. I want to do more 10Ks. I was thinking about hopping into the Big Ten 10K, but I think that's this weekend. That's in Chicago. And I guess there isn't a reason why I can't. I don't know if it's sold out, though. I don't know. We'll see. All right, Dan Dalton has a PB. He said 1:55 in a trail half marathon yesterday in Sherwood Forest, UK. Is that a real place? Sherwood Forest, UK. My first half marathon, my first trail race, my first of any distance in 20 years. Amazing. Great job, Dan. That's super cool. I have many questions about Sherwood Forest, but they all revolve around Robin Hood, so you probably don't want to answer any of them. Yeah, Stephen C. said, Ed Bud got a 10K PB at the London 10K. Ed Bud is, I think, the only influencer person that I saw running the ASICS event in ASICS shoes. Just going to say. Not that you have to, run with what you want, but I did notice that. And Stephen C. said, I predicted Ed, FOD, and Kofuzi to PB by the end of the year a couple of weeks back. I PB'd the marathon. Ed gets the 10K PB. I think Andy's on track for something massive. He's winding up. Have you been watching his videos? Massive workouts. All right, let's see. Luis doesn't have a PB yet, but he's going to run the half marathon Tijuana in 2 weeks. That sounds pretty cool. Pretty cool, Luis. Calvin says, 10K is an ideal distance. 5K hurts too much. I like a mile, then up to 10K. I typically feel like I generally prefer a 5K to a 10K because I feel like a lot of times a 10K hurts as much as a 5K. It's just twice as long. That's kind of how I really feel about it. But I had such a good time at Peachtree that I want to do more. Adam says, not sure about PBs, but good times at races for USATF. Lise Cranny, Ariane Knighton, Woody Kincaid. I don't know who Gear is. I'm going to have to tell you. But I did just finish watching yesterday's action. A lot of really good racing. I think my favorite events to watch over the weekend were probably men's 800 final and the women's 1500 meters. Those were wild races, both of those. I feel like that was a lot of fun to watch. I didn't get a chance to watch the women's steeple final, although I feel like I really would have liked to watch that. But there was a lot of good racing. I'm very excited about the teams that we'll be sending to the World Championships this year. A lot of fun, a lot of good track action. It was nice. Did you guys watch any of it? All right, the run-up says, hit a 1 mile 7:05 and a 5K 25:14 PBs in the Puma Liberate Nitro. Nice job. Was this all on the same day? Same weekend? The Liberate Nitro is a great shoe for running fast, though, I can tell you. It's flat and fast. Matthews Mrowiak says, which international marathon is your favorite one? I haven't run too many international marathons. I think Tokyo is my only international marathon. I've run races abroad, but I think my only international marathon has been Tokyo. So I feel like by default that wins, but it's going to be a pretty tough one to beat. Calvin said, it was cool to see the Tracksmith ASP Crevant will win the 100 meters. That was very strange to see. Like, he came up wearing like the Tracksmith single. You know what? He should have been wearing the Tracksmith Strata shorts. That would have sent it over the top for me. If he came in with the all white Tracksmith Strata with just the blue sash, that would have been pretty amazing. But that singlet, what is that Tracksmith ASP? That singlet looks amazing. I don't think that's not a regular singlet that they sell, is it? I feel like that's very different. I feel like that was really good. It was really nice. And Kyle said Sydney Giddebit got married. Oh, I didn't know that was this weekend. Congratulations to Sydney. I'm going to try to press the button. It's either going to be the applause button or the rim shot button. I'm going for applause. I think it's this one. Yeah. Good job. Congratulations to Sydney. Yeah, I always forget. There's A, B, C, and D buttons. I can't remember if it's C or D down here. That's cool. Good news. Eliza says, I'm cranky about how hard it is to watch USATF. It shows on TV at 10 p.m. and I'm already asleep. Here's what I did, Eliza. I've been using, and this is not a sponsored plug, but we had Comcast. They've been driving me. I've been getting frustrated with Comcast, which I feel like everyone gets frustrated with Comcast. That's not a hot take. But instead I did YouTube TV, and because all the TVs that we have are either smart TVs or have an Apple TV attached to it. So it's just as easy to do that. And I just had that. It has like unlimited DVRing, I feel like. I don't know if there's a limit, but it feels like there's unlimited DVRing. And so I just set it to DVR, and then I would watch it in the morning. And so that's how I've been watching it. I watched yesterday's action. I mean, I kind of saw all the results I've been using Threads, which I kind of like it. On that app Threads, but kind of knew all the results, and then I did already listen to. Did I listen? No, I don't think I listened to the Sidious Mag coverage of it. I think I've been listening to Sidious Mag coverage of the other days, but then today, like at lunch, I was able to watch like the entire meet in like 30 minutes. So, and I was able to like rewatch some of my favorite moments. So that's kind of how I've been watching it. Frank says, what would be like the European minors? Ooh, I don't know enough about races. But I feel like Valencia would be in there because it's super fast. Rotterdam would be in there also, flat and fast. I mean, I feel like you have to put Paris in there because it's just, I mean, do you put like Paris, Rome, Athens? I don't know if Athens, I'm not, you know what's funny? I get more comments asking me to go to Athens than any other country, than any other like city. In terms of abroad, like it's always just like anytime I mention like a race, they're like, "Oh, you should do Athens next," and I want to do it. There's a lot of other stuff. It's not super high on the priorities list. I do want to do it because I feel like it would mean a lot, you know. But yeah, Valencia, Rotterdam. Would Amsterdam be on the list? I mean, like, yeah, I think it'd be like Rome. I feel like there's a lot of cobblestone in Rome. Am I wrong on that one? I remember watching a video recently of it, and it didn't look like it was going to be super fast. But those are some cities that I would think about. I feel like there could be another one in Germany that's probably very fast. Not just Berlin, you know? Interesting. Interesting. All right. Scott Strule said, I had a weekly distance PB, 51 miles on, because he's doing grit. Nice. Good job. Ackley said the first half marathon for 2:26. Nice work. Haha. And M&A always says, hello from the UAE. It's 105 degrees Fahrenheit here. All treadmill here training for Sydney. I hope treadmills are just as effective. I think you'll be okay. You'll be fine. I mean, as you get closer to the race, you might want to do a little bit of some running on the roads just to get your body acclimated to it. Because the roads are going to be harder on your body than treadmill decks are. And a lot of, like, for example, like Kenyan runners or the Africans, East Africans, they tend to run on very soft surfaces and they only run on roads as they get close to the race just to get your body used to that part. PG1980 wants to know, what's the 10K PB? I mean, technically it's like 40 minutes and 3 seconds, I think, because I did a 10K time trial, but it wasn't on a track. It was a road, so it was GPS. I think it was Stride Foot Pod based. So it's not really a 10K PB. I feel like my 10K like chip time PB is like 43 something, 44. So I think that I can, at Atlanta I did 41:59. So 41:59 is my 10K PB. But I think, I was just thinking about it today on the drive home from my run. I was like, I'd love to be able to do a 10 mile in under an hour. That seems like a fun goal. Especially since my first 10 mile was probably close to 2 hours ever. You know? So I'd like to get it to an hour. To do that, I probably need to do that same 6 minute per mile pace for a 10K first. And that would put me at like 38 minutes. So I'd like to be in like the 38s. So maybe that's a goal for this year. I was looking at, there's a 10K in September. There's the 5K in September that I did last year that I'd like to do again. I might bring my daughter to it. She can run it because there's an age group for her. But then I could also run it and maybe try to PB again. Win my age group again too. But then there's also a 10K in Santa Monica that I'd like to run. I feel like that would be a hilly one, but I just feel like I want to do more of those like LA region races. There's like a whole kind of like series of races getting ready for like the LA marathon that I'd like to do. I really just want to go and have some more Korean. I haven't had the Korea, like I've been in Koreatown a little bit. I had breakfast over there once, but like I'd like to really dive into that a little bit more and meet some more of like the run clubs in LA. So like I was kind of looking at Santa Monica 10K. I think that's September. So I've been looking at some 10Ks to do. 1HP said he had a 15K PB at the Boilermaker yesterday. Nice. I think friend of the live stream, Frank Lara, was at the Boilermaker 15K yesterday too. I don't know if he had a PB or not, but it looked like he had a good day. Yeah. Daniel Britton says, I like the 5K because the pain is over fast. It never feels fast to me, but we'll see. All right. Ryan Flake wants to know what's in the box. Today, we got a box from Adidas. This is a box, and I took all those shipping labels off, but it was sent like 2-day air on like June 23rd, but I didn't get it until like I was already leaving for Atlanta. So it's from Adidas. I think it was supposed to be stuff that I was supposed to wear while I was in Atlanta. So I don't think that those Adidas people are watching the live stream, but if they are, my apologies. It just didn't arrive in time. So, well, let's see what we got. I feel like I was pretty happy with some of my purchases that I picked up at the expo down there, though. All right, just one thing in here. It's a whole lot of box for one garment. A t-shirt. I want to say, like, I think I was like, I thought, for a second, I thought it was the exact same material as the Peachtree t-shirt. It's similar on the back. On the front, though, it's kind of like more of a shimmery material. But that's it. You got some stripes on the sleeves. It's the Own the Run tee. Here we go. What color is this? Is this red? Is this pink? I think this is like I have no idea what color this is. That's why I'm asking. I would call this straight up pink. Although the color that I see on this screen here is different than the color that I see with my eyes. It seems pinker with my eyes than on the screen. So I don't know. But this is it. Thank you, Adidas. I'm really glad that it wasn't like they had gotten a shirt or a singlet with Kofuzi and Peachtree on it for me, because then I would have felt really bad that I didn't wear it. So I'm like, whew, just a regular t-shirt. Awesome. All right. Matthias Ventus says, depending on the part of Santa Monica it's in, the Santa Monica 10K could be flat-ish. I'm not scared of hills anymore. I'm going to go out and say that. I'm going to regret saying that later. No one save that and clip it for later. But I'm going to say it now. I'm not scared of hills. Daniel Burton says the Huntington Beach 10K is super fast. Oh, is it? Interesting. I mean, I don't know if I just don't know of 10Ks. Maybe it's because I'm not paying attention. The other race that I've been thinking about so I was thinking about doing the Big 10K, although it's kind of a weird race for me to do because unlike 2/3 of the Chicagoland running community, I did not go to a Big 10 school. So when you sign up, it asks which Big 10 school do you want your shirt from? Because the race shirt differs depending on what you select. So you can have Iowa, Northwestern, other schools that are in the Big 10 Michigan's in the Big 10, Ohio State, so you could do that. And I'm like, I didn't go to any, I went to a Division III school, not even in this region. So that's the only thing about that race that's a little bit weird. But it's a really well-run race. Yeah, but other than that, I really don't know about 10Ks, probably because I'm not paying attention. The other race in Chicago that I am thinking about running for funsies, I think it normally happens in September, is called Race Judicata, which is a pun. It's a legal pun. And it's a 5K that gets put on. It's a fundraiser event. And a lot of the law firms participate. And so there's a lawyer section. I mean, everyone runs at the same time. But when they sort out winners, there's a lawyer and a non-lawyer section. I think I want to run in the non-lawyer. I guess I could run in the lawyer section. But I'm not practicing. My license isn't current. So maybe I run in the non-lawyer section. But anyway, I think it'd be fun to just run that one for funsies. That one, people drink up really heavy at that one, though. It's lawyers, so of course. Michael Haney says, the Army 10 mile is a great course for a 10 mile PB. Feels like Broad Street Run, too. I've heard good things about that race. Martha says, I need to find a 10K besides Boulder to get a PR. Haven't run a different one in years, and my PR is actually Boulder, but it's the opposite of a fast course. Yeah, I know. I feel like that's not a good place to run fast. I was telling my wife how Ryan Van Duzer was like, hey, let's run Javelina 100 together. I'm like, I mean, I might see him on the course because it's a looped course, but he's so much faster than me. I don't think he's been running that much, and he ran Boulder in 38 minutes. I'm like, I ran an event not at elevation in 42. So he's running 50 seconds a mile faster than me on no training. And I've been training for the Peachtree Road Race for a month. So, but anyway, and he ran that at 38 at Boulder at altitude. So, all right, everyone's calling that shirt. Sega Dreamcast says, is that the Solar Red? Let me put this shirt back up. Solar Red? Let's see what it says on the tag. Okay. Here, I have the name here. It's like a mini game. What color is this? This is the shirt. I think it's pink. I think it's very pink with a little bit of maybe orange in it. Frank Dreamcast thinks it's Solar Red. Scott Stroll thinks it's orange. New Hampshire thinks coral. Frank says blood orange. Lee Chat says burnt orange. I think you're making words up now. Javier Gonzalez Lopez says orange for sure. Vanessa Martinez says persimmon. I actually think that's a very good description of what this color is, persimmon. Alexis Allen also says solar red. The actual answer is bright red. That's what it's. It says right on here. Bright red. That's the shirt. Eric Vensky says, ran the Buckeye Trail 50K this weekend, 4,000 feet plus of elevation, and finished in 6:40. A 40-minute PB for me over that distance. Nice, that's big. That's huge. I feel like, I'm assuming the Buckeye Trail is in Ohio. I feel like Ohio has like sneaky amounts of elevation. I assume it to be mostly flat, but then Cincinnati's like super hilly. And then there's just other places that are just like, they're like every ultra race that I've heard of in Ohio. I'm like, you're going to do an ultra in Ohio? Was that like super flat and fast? Like tunnel? It was not tunnel marathon, but whatever the tunnel races are. And it's like, no, it's got like 4,000 feet of elevation gain over the course of the race. And I'm like, wait, where? How do they do that? But good job, Eric. 1HP said, Frank Lara finished 13th in the Boilermaker, 44:27, much faster than me. Whew, that's a fast 15K. All right, let me scroll down and catch up with you guys. 1HP says, I'm disappointed in Adidas. If they made crayons, they would not be fun. That's funny. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, you guys had a lot of guesses for the colors. Actually, Poncan orange. I don't even know what that is. Momentum Unbound says fried orange. Again, you're making it up. Martha thinks it's no way it's pink. It's coral. Rob DeGennaro said grapefruit. Run Up said salmon. If you guys are listening to this on the podcast, audio only version, I want you to, in your mind, envision what color this is, and then look it up. It's the official full color name. Go look it up later. It's bright red / reflective. REFLECTIV. No E at the end. You know? So. Eric Fensky says, the Cuyahoga Valley National Park in Ohio is full of trails and elevation. That's where it's all at. There's another event that's there too, right? I feel like Cuyahoga Valley, that sounds very familiar to me. It's got to be because of racing. Can't imagine. Noah Combs says, I visited Boston this weekend and ran Hartburg Hill. It was tougher than I expected. It is tricky. It's just very long. It's not a vertical kilometer kind of thing, but it is, it's long, and it comes at a really unfortunate time in the race. You know what I mean? Michael Highland says, similar to the shirt color difference, I found that the Magic Speed 3 were a little bit more pink than when I got them. It has grown on me. Where did I put that shoe? So if this is pink, is this red? These are different colors. This is more orange to me than this. But this does not strike me as red. And this definitely strikes me as pink. But maybe it's coral. I think it's pink. I don't know. Chapman says, Co, thanks for being a great influence on running. Been working through your old videos, and the shoe reviews are super helpful as I look for my next daily trainer. Well, I'm glad that it's helpful, Chapman. Thanks for stopping by and letting me know that. It's always good to kind of hear that the videos are useful. So I appreciate that, and hope you find one that suits you well. Martha says, Co, it's pronounced Cuyahoga. I used to live and work in Cleveland for the orchestra. Oh, okay. Cuyahoga? Okay. Not Cuyahoga. Cuyahoga. Okay, Cuyahoga. 1HB says, Cuyahoga is from Family Guy too, right? No, Family Guy is Quahog. It's Q-U-A. It's named after like a clam or oyster. All right. Eric says that the Burning River 150-mile race is in the Cuyahoga Valley something. National Park? Yeah, Cuyahoga Valley National Park at the end of July. I'll be doing the 50. That's where I've heard it from. Yes. All right, we got a running shoe Q&A from Calvin. All right, he's asking for a friend. What speed day race day shoe would you pick to pair with a Brooks Glycerin 20? Her first marathon, aiming for sub 3:30. I mean, you have to keep in mind that I didn't love the Brooks Glycerin 20. But I'm going to think that if you like that shoe, you probably like a little bit something that's a little bit firmer and also something that has a little bit of stability to it. For sub 3:30, normally I would say, well, what about the Metaspeed Edge Plus? And I still think that's probably the best idea. Endorphin Pro 3 is probably also a really good idea. So I'm going to kind of go with those, even though the Endorphin Pro is not a very squishy, not a very firm shoe. It's very squishy, but I do feel like kind of whenever I don't know what to recommend, that's one that I recommend. I'm trying to think. I'm looking over at the shoes over on the wall over here too. I'm trying to think of like, is there something that I'm missing? I mean, I don't think you really need to stay with Brooks on that one, because I'm not going to say, I don't think that like the Hyperion Max is necessarily the right answer. I don't think the Endorphin Elite 3, I think they're on, is necessarily the answer too. Ooh, you know what else? So I'll say maybe Metaspeed Edge Plus, and then maybe Super Blast. But that's, I mean, it's going to be over 40 millimeters if that matters to your friend. But that, yeah. Metaspeed Edge Plus, Super Blast, Endorphin Pro 3. That's maybe where I would look first. It's hard when if they love the Glycerin 20. I don't enjoy it. I don't perceive it in the way that people that like that shoe do. So I feel like, well, how does that translate to race shoes for people? I'm not sure. So that's what makes that question tricky. But I think between those. Yeah. Frank says Prime X. I was thinking about that too, but it's just so tall that I feel like a Glycerin user, because of the kind of instability of the Prime X, I don't feel like a Glycerin user would like the Prime X. It makes a lot of sense to me, but I just don't know. Ooh, Victor Mendoza says Rocket X2. I like that choice. That's a good one. I like that one too. Calvin says the easiest answer is try a bunch, but not everyone has the time or patience or funds. And not a lot of running stores carry all of those at the same time. So that's other things too. And Martha says, and I always think this is a good question, actually we don't know if she loves the Glycerin 20. She just trains in it. Maybe she just hasn't explored running shoes that much, Calvin. Yeah, that's a thing that I ask, or I write in comments all the time. Because people, I think that by now I've kind of like trained people when they ask questions in comments. And people used to be like, what's better, this or that? And I'd be like, well, one of the shoes that you listed is an everyday trainer. The other shoe that you listed is a race shoe. So I'm assuming that you're asking which is a better racing shoe. And then I'll explain why I like the racing shoe better in a racing like evaluation. And I'll be like, it might be a different answer if it's daily trainer. So I think I'm kind of training people to be like, let me know what you like or what you're running in. So it gives me a sense of where I can take the recommendation. But then people will write like, I've been running a lot of miles in like the Clifton 9 or the Clifton 8. And they'll say something else that makes me not sure if they are enjoying it. And they'll be like, so what do you recommend for a race day shoe? And I'm like, well, if you like the Clifton, then I got some, options for you, assuming you like it. But I would say like, unless people didn't like it, they wouldn't tell me. So that's kind of what I assume. Runner Dre, what's going on, Runner Dre, says, I love the SC Elite version 3. It's softer than most of the super shoes, and they're also on sale on Running Warehouse. Someone today commented on my SC Elite version 3 100-mile review video. That's like, they're on sale for $140 right now. It must not be that good. And I was like, if it were still full price, you'd be mad because this shoe's been out for like almost 2 years. You know what I mean? And so I'm just like, some people, you're never going to be happy. And I just wrote, pricing is one of the more complicated and easy to oversimplify aspects of running shoes. I think the SC Elite version 3 being on sale is a bargain. You can pick it up. I mean, I think if that 140 price that someone else mentioned to me is right, I'd say pick it up as a daily trainer. You could run every day in that, I think. Nice and squishy. I like it. But it is a race shoe, Samuel Amigo says, for a speed shoe, my local shop got the Hyperion Tempo at $95 US. Should I buy it or look somewhere else? I feel like it depends on how much you do or don't want to spend more money. I feel like $95 for a Hyperion Tempo, I think is a good price. Chapman says, before watching Capuzzi, I had no idea that there were race day shoes or trainers, etc. The running stores have let me down during try-ons. Sometimes I feel like if I don't know, I guess I need to talk to more running shoe companies. And you know what? I just remembered that I have an appointment later today. I'm glad I remembered. That would have been really bad if I missed out on that one. Anyway, but I think I need to talk to more running shoe places because I'm like, why sometimes when you go to like a running store, maybe it's just like the person that you happen to get, but like sometimes I feel like they always want to put you in a stability shoe. Or they want to put you in every shoe except for like the one that you were like, I'm looking for a new shoe. I was maybe thinking about this one. What do you guys think? And I feel like that's the last shoe that they'll give you. And then other times there's like no discussion at all. And they're just like, what did you want? Okay, here you go. So, I'm sure that there's many, many reasons why that may be and lots of variability in that, but I don't know. Because I know that like a lot of times when I would go to like years ago when I first started getting into running shoes, when I would go to a running store, I didn't care what they had to say. I was like, this is the one that looks great. It fits my feet. I'm going to get this one because it looks awesome. That's kind of how I would buy them, So, yeah, I understand. I don't think it's always the running shoe store's fault is what I'm ultimately saying. Sometimes the problem is me, Chapman? I'm not saying the problem's you. Me, yeah. Kevin L says, hey, yo, what's up, Kofuzi? My first live stream. Welcome, Kevin. Good to see you. Is that a picture of Kipchoge? Or are you Kipchoge? Kevin. I think that's I think that's the tell. I think Kipchoge has entered the chat. Kevin. Kipchoge. Yeah, I see right through you. Welcome. Kevin says, yep. Terrence Huey says it's Kipchoge. Nice. Mentai says, I think some stores think everyone is just doing 3 miles every other day. And they always want to put you in a Brooks or a Hoka. I feel like, though, I think that most of the people going into a running store are maybe doing less than 3 miles every other day. It always astonishes me every time I hear like statistics about how like most running shoes are purchased for casual use, standing around, like people that have to stand for their jobs, or walking. And that most shoes get used for like a couple of weeks and then kind of get lost in the closet. Like anytime I hear like running industry like statistics like that, I'm just astonished. I'm like, if that's the case, why doesn't like every brand make walking shoes? If most of the shoes they sell are walking, I'm not going to complain because I love the variety of shoes that we're getting right now. But I'm like, most of these are not great for walking. And if most of your customers are buying them for walking, make walking shoes. I don't know. Eric says, a lot, but not all, of running store employees, when all they see is a nail, they almost always offer a hammer. Sad that I know more about running shoe offerings than my locals employees. Well, you know what does and doesn't surprise me is that like, not like I feel like everyone should know who I am, but I also just feel like whenever I go like with a brand, sometimes I'll go with brands, and it'll be like I'll do like a meet and greet with their retail partners. Most of them are like, "Who's this guy?" I just feel like I get it that running store people are very busy and they don't have the time to sit around and watch YouTube videos about running like I do. But I feel like it's 2023 now, and I feel like if you don't know me, you should know like Believe in the Run. You should know like Ginger Runner. You know, you should know people that are like reviewing shoes and what they're saying about shoes. I mean, I don't know. But it's very it makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways, but also I feel like what I've been trying to do is to and that's what this meeting about is in the afternoon is I'll tell you more about it later if it goes well. But like find better ways to connect and work with the running retail community, because I feel like they've gotten left out a little bit. I feel like they both, never mind, I won't say more. I'm working to bridge the gap. That's what let's just say it that way. See, today I wasn't hungry, so there's no rant today. You know what I mean? Sega Dreamcast says, I literally learned about Believe in the Run this spring, and I've been running in Baltimore since 2009. Where have you been? How did you not know? They've been all over. Are you going to go to the Believe in the Run Grit Party? I'll be there. It's like next month. So it's like it's this month. It's in like 2 weeks. I think that's the next trip on my calendar to go to Baltimore. I need to make a video about everywhere I'm going next so I can make sure I see you guys. Alex Hermanson says, I'm looking forward to the Grit Party. It's next week. Is it really next week? Man, this summer is going by so fast. My wife was kind of, when we were, I was telling you, and we'll end on this, when I was telling you how my wife and I were talking about the calendar, and I'm just like, not going to be here a lot. She was, I think, she made it so like jokingly annoyed, but I think she's actually annoyed because now our kids are old enough to just leave at grandma and grandpa's house for a long time. And she's like, here's what we do. We go to grandma and grandpa's house for a weekend. We all hang out, and then we just leave the children there for like 2 weeks. And then we come back home, work during the day, and then the two of us just go out for dinner every night for like 2 weeks, and then go pick up the kids, see grandma, grandpa, and then bring them back home. And like all winter, like that idea was like sustaining us through the winter. And now I've filled the calendar. Like I'm gone. I'm traveling like 3 times a month. It's one of those traveling trips is a family vacation though, but it's a lot. It's a lot. But it's good because hopefully I'll be able to see you guys. Some of those trips I won't be able to see you guys because they're in remote places or whatever. But other than those, hopefully I'll be able to connect with some of you guys. I don't know that we'll do like huge events, but like I'll be like, hey, if anyone wants to get together for a run, we can. All right. Tomorrow, there's not going to be a live stream. So no live stream tomorrow. I should have led with that. Sorry about that. But no live stream tomorrow because I'm getting interviewed and I have to go into Chicago for that interview. And I just don't think we're going to be done in time for me to be able to do a live stream on time. And then, so I just don't really know what my schedule is going to be tomorrow. So I'm going to cancel the live stream for tomorrow. But Wednesday, Martinez Evans, I've been trying to get him on the live stream for a long time, but he's been busy doing his book tour thing. So finally, Wednesday is going to be the day that he'll be here live. So hopefully you read his new book. But Martinez Evans, 300 pounds and running on Instagram, is going to be here, and we'll talk to him about his book. And, I got a bunch of questions for him after having read the book. So it should be a really fun time. So hopefully we'll see you then. Hopefully by then also that Kinvara Pro video will be done, and that'll be up so we can talk about that too a little bit. All right, guys. In the meantime, until I see you guys again, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.